Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another really fun interview coming up with a fellow Pesach traveler, Pesach program traveler. This is going to be great for people who are still looking for Pesach programs, who want to hear firsthand from real people who've actually been on a Pesach program. What it's about, where they've been, and what to expect. So we're by Ari Nussbaum, and just hang tight, guys, for jumping on. This is going to be a really fun interview and discussion with Ari Nussbaum. Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello, everyone. How are
Hold on,
you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Doing well. Excited to be here. I've been watching a bunch of these previous interviews to get ready.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, good. So, first and foremost, where are you from, Ari?
So I am born and raised, still live here in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, so you're in Chi-Town. You're in the
Yeah,
Windy City.
I'm in the
Love
Windy
it.
City.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, how many years have you been going away on Pesach programs for? Right?
So so basically my entire childhood we went
Okay.
away. And then as I got older, got married, we switched over. We still go away, but we don't go to programs anymore. We started doing the Orlando villa type route.
The villa type route. Okay.
Yeah,
Been going away in your childhood, and then you're going to the more of the villa houses style programs in
exactly.
Orlando. Terrific. So when you first started, I mean, so where did you go? Which programs have you attended in the
Sure.
past as a child?
So when it all first started, my grandparents took me away and my family away when I was about 3 years old. We went to a program called Weekend Connections. I'm not sure if they're still
Yeah.
around anymore.
Still, they're not happening this year, but that's the one in
Exactly.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Exactly. So we went there and we were there from I think I was age 3 till about I was age 14. We went every single year. It's located in Lake
Yeah.
Geneva, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
which is a very popular vacation resort throughout the year for local Chicagoans.
Mm-hmm.
We go there all the time in the summer, but we went there every single Pesach. My family and I were very close, family-oriented family.
Yeah.
So going away just made sense. And I still say to my own children
Yeah.
now, my some of my best, happiest memories are from those 10 days on that program.
Yeah. So tell me, like, let's take one step back, right? A lot of people, it's their first time going away. They don't know where, they don't know how to find one, right? Like, why do you go away? Like, what's your reason to go away on Pesach program? Is it the food? Is it the hotel? Is it the memories, like you just mentioned? Is it the meeting the people? Is it the you don't want to cook and clean, right? Well, what's your kind of reason to go away for 10 days?
Sure.
Um,
So I think it's changed over time. Meaning, when I was a kid, I just went wherever my family went. Now, and we'll get to this later on in the interview, but now it's really my wife and I both work full
hmm,
time, so we are out and about, very busy lives. So to me, like I said earlier, Pesach, family is number one to us,
yeah,
and any excuse to be with
right.
family is going to happen. So getting away to either a program or what we do now with just going to a home in Orlando
Hmm.
just made sense. It's a way for me and my family to be separated from reality for a minute, spend time with my
Right.
kids, get to be in good weather. Um, Obviously, there's perks like not having to clean my
Of course.
house, literally locking my door and getting on a
Yeah,
plane is always a plus.
right.
But again, like it's definitely changed over time. I think I'll talk about the program that I went to growing up. Their niche was that they're so close in terms of location to Chicago that you can still go on this amazing program, but you can go back to work during the week. So I remember my father used to go back to work during Colomoid,
Right.
um,
Oh, wow.
and and
Wow.
they and they used to pack up like to go boxes with like kosher Pesach
That's
lunches
awesome.
for the people that were going back to
Well,
Chicago to work.
yeah, no, that program is, I think, notorious for a lot of the Midwesterns, I would say,
Yeah,
that would like really program, which I heard about. But you mentioned now, let's kind of focus on now. You said you go to the villas, Orlando. So are you going to, like for example, a perfect Pesach, right? They have that, or are you going to more of a different style? You're getting your own house.
Yeah, so we went our first time about I want to say 10 years ago when I was newly married, and we really didn't know what we were doing. We started off by buying a lot of the food through Albertsons,
Hmm.
like Pesach, like packages,
Yep.
and we didn't know if there was going to be a minion there. We didn't know how far it was. We went. I think our first year was to Emerald Island,
Oh, nice.
which still has a place. And again, every year we've gone, we know a little bit more now. We know what kind of house we want. We know the chats to get into. Programs, the Instagram pages like this are definitely helpful just for finding out other people that are going too. So like just a small example, like we've improved on the home we get. Thank God our family's growing. We go with my aunt and uncle, my
When you
parents, my
improve,
siblings.
when you say improved on the home you got, you mean like every year, you got a pool this year, or did you get a
I'll give you an example. So we have every year we had a pool, but the first year we had a very small backyard slash no lanai at all. And we noticed that people around us had these massive, beautiful lanais. And so we learned like what type of home to look for, like
mm,
what amenities do we want in the home. So last year, 2 years ago, we went to Windsor Island, which had just opened that year.
mm-hmm,
So it was a first year for Pesach.
right?
And we had this incredible lanai overlooking the
Mm,
pool, attached to the dining room, and we literally had every single meal, 3 meals a day for 2 weeks at the lanai. Our kids
wow,
knew breakfast, lunch, dinner were out
wow,
there. It was just beautiful. It was a great vibe, and again, amazing memories.
amazing. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it
And
was.
Florida has so much to do. I mean, you in Orlando, of course, you got the Disney World there and everything, things of that nature. So that's fun. So that's cool. So you guys go away. I think, houses have become, it's funny, like bigger and bigger. A lot of people, they love the program feel, but sometimes they just want to be in the house and they want to be in a rental side of the house. So funny enough, Passover listings now has a place where you can actually look for list your house. So a
Right.
lot of people actually list their house for
I
Pesach,
saw
funny enough,
that.
right?
I
Some
saw
extra
that.
there, which is cool. And in fact, actually, there's a program this year, actually one that I'm attending in Orlando this year, that is essentially the first ever villa house program, but a full-blown program.
Hmm.
I don't know if you knew about these time tours at the Evermore Resort. You're getting a villa, a flat, or a house. So you're in with your entire family
Right.
at a house, which is really cool. But you still experience like the dining room and the programming, entertainment, and everything like
Yeah,
that. So
that's
yeah,
amazing. So my family and I have very different views on Pesach. So first, when I was a kid, I loved the idea of a program. I loved that everyone went to the ballroom together. I loved
right.
that there was kids programming. One of my favorite memories from Weekend Connections when I was a little kid, I was probably 5 or 6, was that we had a private Seder within the hotel, and the owner of the program would come around to every single
Yeah.
Seder and give every kid an afikoman present. It was just a nice touch, and
Wow.
that I still remember. Whether it
That's
was
cool.
a Nerf ball or something unique for that age and gender, it was really awesome. So
That
personally, I love the idea.
hold on. Hold on. I don't hear you. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I
Yes,
said
yes. I
what?
personally love the program feel. My parents and my grandmother didn't love the idea of that. You had to get dressed up. You had to go at that specific time. If I wanted to sleep in, I missed breakfast that day. So like that type of stuff we kind of disagreed upon. And there's pros and cons to both for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the nice.
You get the tea room right
We
piece, right?
do.
So our programs is like, if you miss the breakfast or the lunch, thankfully like there's another tea room that's open typically 20, no, not 24/7, but
Yeah,
for those
for
hours.
sure.
But I totally hear you. Everyone likes that's why I always think in this industry, when you go away for Pesach, I think there's a program for everybody. You want an adventure, you go to a program. You want a beach, there's another program. You want a house, a villa, you go to
Right.
another program, right? So I think you're right. It really depends on like your requirements. I always tell people, always, there's 120 Pesach programs out there, and then there's hundreds and probably thousands of different houses you
Right.
can rent. Not in Florida. There's mansions in Vermont. There's houses in Israel that you can rent, things like that. But I think the key is you want to, for some, actually, let me ask you before I even answer this, right? For someone who's going away on PESA programs since they were very little, what advice would you give someone who's actually looking for a Pesach program today, how would you help them narrow it down, right? And make sure they choose the right program for them.
Sure. So I think you definitely have to think about who you're going with. If you're going with elderly people or no kids at all, you might want to look for what kind of adult entertainment are they having? Are they bringing in speakers? Do they have activities throughout the day? Are they doing day trips? My family was more kid oriented, so we made sure really good kids programming, the camps, the amenities of the hotel. Is it very basic, or do they have are they on the beach? Do they have multiple pools? Um, that's what if I was going to a program now, I have four little kids, so I'm definitely looking for like how are you going to cater to my four
Right.
kids? Like
Is it
that
going to be a trip or is it going to be a vacation? Right.
exactly exactly. And so now when we go to Orlando,
Yeah.
we did the Disney route 2 years ago where we did Holomoid each day a different
Yep.
park. And that was awesome. It was really, really fun. And again, like lifelong memories for my
Yeah.
kids. This year, we're doing more, there's very little Hawaii this year. So we're doing more pool oriented, smaller day trips, just enjoying the sun and the vacation feel of being in Florida.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, there's not really that much,
I
Cholamoid
mean,
this year, which, you know,
yeah,
s- yeah, I mean, some people view that as a good thing, and some people view that as, they really want to get out and kind of experience
especially
this.
when you're going on a program, you want to have as many days as possible for the Hawaii.
Right, exactly. Funny enough, next year is going to be one of the best years for
Right. A
Cholamoid because
full week. Right.
I think next year is going to be a huge year for Passover programs.
Yeah.
Very, very informative. And really, really cool that you guys, your family's been going away and you're going to Orlando and
Yeah.
you're really getting back, some really interesting advice. I think the last question is, you kind of touched on this, but what are some, for people who have never experienced the program or even have once or twice or a handful of times, you know, what can they expect from your perspective? Obviously you've been to the ringer, you've been around, right? And you've seen a lot, you've heard a lot, you've researched a lot, right? What do you feel like if you were to give like 3 to 5 things, like here's what you expect on a program when you go away? How would you kind of like
Yeah.
describe that?
Yeah. So again, I only went to this one program my whole life. I did 1 year. We went 1 year to Sanibel Island, and then again Orlando the last few years. Everything I've gone to blew out my expectations. Just you're getting top notch quality programming,
Hmm.
and you're getting amazing food, open bar, the pools, you have the ability to have the family time at the same time feel like you're on vacation. You're treated, like you are the number one priority. Now, again, that's changing at the size of the Pesach program. Obviously, the places that have 1,000 people plus, you're not going to be number one. The one I went to had about 400
Right.
people, and everyone kind of knew each other because it was all Midwest. It was all mostly
You
Chicago. But again,
you bring up a good point. There's programs that have a couple hundred, and there's program that have like 1,000. It really is
yeah.
like, you know, from your perspective, actually, I don't know if you've been to both, right? But what are the pros and cons with having more or less people on a program?
So I think if you just from my experience of looking at just following either on Passover listings or on Instagram and Facebook, just seeing what's offered out there. I had cousins that went to the massive Mexico program last year, and just from hearing all around, there's pros to the massive programs. There's more offered. For example, I have a friend that runs the groups in the Bahamas. Like there's just bigger, more offered to you when you go to the bigger programs. But like what I experienced with the smaller program, you feel like you're more catered to as an individual, because there's less people to worry
Right.
about.
Do you
Um,
think you get more with the bigger, maybe more expensive programs, or do you think? I mean, well, what's your take on that? Some people.
I've never been to these massive programs, but I feel like just from what I've seen, whether it be the famous singers they're bringing in, the top famous chefs they're bringing in, top-notch kids programming, I feel like for the price you're paying, I would really hope that they're offering more than a smaller program.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's better. It just means they have a bigger budget to spend more on. Doesn't
Right.
mean it's going to be better or worse. It's just
Right.
different.
Different. Right. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. That's interesting. Last thing, and I know this is quick. Favorite memory, right? You touched upon one, but like think about, over the last maybe past 5 years, what was your favorite memory? Think about like, why you go away. What's the biggest thing that comes to mind, snaps
Can
in,
I can,
say,
can I say a side story first?
yeah, go ahead.
When I was talking to your assistant a few weeks ago, she's like, "You have to bring this up," so I will bring it up. Like I said in the beginning of the interview, we're very family oriented. We get together all the time. I have an aunt and uncle who live just a few minutes from me, who are only 10 years older than me. So their kids are close to my kids.
Yeah.
Very close family. Uh, on Pesach, we were joking around. We saw that Family Feud was coming to
Oh,
Chicago. We were talking one night. We're like, we should totally do it. It'd be so much fun. Fast forward, we made it onto the show, and we
wow.
became the first. I'm wearing the shirt right now. The
Nice.
first Frum family to win on Family Feud.
Dude, awesome. That's a wait, first from family
As
to win
far
on Family Feud.
as I know,
Wow,
there have been other Frum families on the show, but we wore our kippas. We danced the hora with Steve Harvey.
I love
Uh,
I love
yeah, that was awesome. So
that's awesome.
I'm hoping people recognize our face from
Yeah.
TV. Yeah, no, I think going back to your original question, favorite memory for me, again, the reason why I love Orlando feel is because, like I said, you're getting the pool, you're getting the good weather,
Yeah.
but you're still getting that like Hamish, small, tight knit. You're still with your family. You don't have to worry about this big program.
Oh,
I just love sitting by the lanai. I'll be either on my phone scrolling through ESPN or reading a magazine, and my kids are jumping in and out of the pool, and they're just in a good mood and they're happy, and I don't have to worry about being at our home and what's going on and with work, and I'm just focused on my family and kids
love it.
and just a really, really good time for them. And hopefully, like again, like I said at the beginning, my favorite memories as a child were from Pesach, and I'm hoping I'm giving that over to my kids as well.
That's awesome. And you hit on the nail because a lot of people saying the same thing, right? You're with your family, you go and enjoy it, right? You don't have to stress, you don't have to worry. It's beautiful. It's really, it's why look, it's why you've been going away for so many years and
Yeah,
not have got to take off anyways, as well. So what's the point?
exactly.
Guys, Ari, thank you so much. It's Ari Nussbaum, guys, kind of coming live with us, talking Pesach. Pesach Pros, guys, been going away for forever. Hopefully, he's a
Yeah,
Chicago Bulls fan.
absolutely.
Go and enjoy Orlando. And thank you so much for your insight and your advice. And check him out on Family Feud, guys. He just won first from family on Family Feud.
Thank you very
Amazing.
much, Johnny. Bye, everyone. Take
Take
care.
care. All the best.